Kendall was my buddy. I can remember back when he was a little boy, and he'd get upset if I'd get mad at him. You know, he wanted to always make me happy. And those are a lot of things I remember about him. You know, I remember asking him to join the fire service because he landed a job in town, and we needed daytime responders. And so there is a lot of guilt that I feel that I talked him into it. But, you know, I know that's not the case. I mean, you know, at 27 years old, he was still trying to make me happy, even though he knew I was stubborn and get mad at me a lot. But I still think Kendall's goal was to make sure Dad was happy. I've been in the fire service for 30 years, and you know, he's no doubt seen me leave in the middle of supper or middle of the night run or miss a ball game or two of his because I was working at my career job, and you know, so he knew what it was about. You know, he knew there were sacrifices. But at a small community like ours, I don't think anybody ever dreamed that our community would suffer something like this.
Oh my Kendall. So we met in college 5 years ago. The most nicest, kindest, had the best personality. He always made me laugh. He was my absolute best friend. Whenever I was upset or in the best mood or whatever kind of mood I was in, I will always want to go to him first. He was my person. He always made me happy. He just always put me first. Always put me first. Love of my life. Always will be. He was my best friend, who I miss every single day. He knew when I was upset, he just had to just tell me like the silliest jokes, and they never made sense, but he always knew it, put a smile on my face. But I couldn't have picked a better person to want to spend the rest of my life with.
Kendall was a big prankster. He loved to laugh at me. Somehow we had this crazy connection that whatever I did, yeah, some things might have been crazy and off the wall, but he laughed at him. He laughed with me. He laughed at me. We laughed a lot together. With Dwayne being on the career side and being gone 24 hours at a time, a lot of times it was just Kendall and I at home in the evenings, and we would have a good time. And I remember as he was growing up, he always had a heart for others. And I remember, I think it was his fourth grade teacher. There was a boy that, I don't know, I think he had broken his leg or something, and he couldn't get around very easily at school and stuff. And Kendall, she came up to me and she said he would carry his books for him, or you know, help him with his locker or something. And that started at a very young age. And I think he served his whole life serving others. He loved sports. He played basketball and baseball and tennis in high school. After he graduated from college, he came back to his high school that he graduated from, and he started coaching freshman basketball. He coached their freshmen for 4 years, and then last year he was supposed to start as 5th and 6th grade coach, which he touched a lot of lives, and he served his community. A lot of young boys looked up to him, and he loved kids. He has 2 nieces, and he has a nephew that he never got to meet. But Emma and Hallie loved Kendall, and he loved them. He would play hide and seek with them.
Barbies.
He would, yeah, beauty salon. We have tons of pictures of them putting makeup on him, fingernail polish.
Washing his hair.
Yeah, he would let them do anything they wanted to do to him. So he was very special. He didn't meet a stranger. He could talk to anybody. So he's missed by everyone in the community.
With me being in the fire service for 30 years, you know, in the back of my mind, I always knew something like this could happen. I just honestly always thought it would be me. Really, such a small community, didn't really think it'd be anybody, but so I knew when this happened that our community would be in shock of the outpour of people coming that didn't know him. I knew there'd be tons of fire trucks, fire apparatus, firefighters. We live in a town of 300 people, a little over 300, and there were 3,000 that went through the viewing, and there was over 1,000 that went to the funeral. And our town was just basically shut down. But there's nothing greater than our brotherhood, and seeing this. We've been through 5 memorials. This is our 5th or 6th one. The good about it is you remember your loved one. The bad part about it is you relive every minute of that November 10th. And then there's guilt that you feel that other families have lost their son or daughter, and 2 months goes by and you don't hear anything more about him. Here we are 11 months into this, and we're talking about him. So there is guilt, but proud. We're very proud.
I would say he's very compassionate. He was compassionate on everything he did. He loved his family. He loved his job. He loved kids. So I would just say he was a very compassionate person.
From a young age, he was always willing to help whoever needed help. He would give the shirt off of his back if somebody needed it. And my aunt had passed away in March, and it was over. I work at the high school, and it was over our spring break, and he was willing to drive me and my parents to her funeral. She lived in Virginia, and he didn't have to do that. I'm sure he would have had other plans and wanted to do something else, but he was always willing to go the extra mile for whoever needed it.